welcome to the March 13th, 2014 Conservation Commission meeting. Calling the meeting to order at 7:08. First item on the agenda is a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I received phone calls from Fred Pearson, Wynn Hilton, and Bruce Fecto saying that they would be unable to make our meeting this evening, so they are all excused. And in their absence, I would like to appoint Stephanie Coster and Jessica Vasey-Powell as voting members for our meeting this evening. Could we do a roll call, starting with Stephanie, please?
Stephanie Coster. Jessica Vasey-Powell.
Janice Rosa.
Drew Kiefaber.
Jeff Goldnoff.
Dale Pike.
Thank you, one and all. Public comments. We have no public here with us this evening, unfortunately. And minutes, we still don't have anyone taking our minutes at this point, and that's an issue that's still to be resolved, so the minutes will continue to pile up in the interim. Any questions or comments there?
The Hampshire law? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that not an issue right now?
I do not know. Certainly, someone can view the meeting.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think that provides some level of official record,
Sure.
if you will. I think that's our fallback. Treasurer's report?
Really have nothing to report, unless there are questions about the treasurer's report. I am sorry, I apologize for not sending it out on email. I got it 3 days ago and slipped my mind.
It happens. Been there, done that.
They were timely though. I did notice we got a lot of interest this month, and they kind of changed the way that our accounts are handled. We don't really notice a difference on our end, but it makes a lot more sense and it's a lot easier for the accounting and as the town works. And they had mentioned changes in interest, but we didn't. From my discussions with Matt, it didn't seem like we would see that big of a change. But our interest amount this month is like 3 times more than or 6 times more than last month almost. It does fluctuate a lot, but I don't know. Kind of curious. So I'll probably ask him.
How much interest do we make?
Very little, between $2 and $4 and $5 a month. And January 2014 was $12.50. So.
Yeah, I mean, as a percentage, are we?
I do not know the percentage. That would be
like
about.
The big account or the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, 5. That's about 0.5%, I think. 0.2%. Try to do quick math. I think it's about 0.2%. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a calculator. It's still a small number.
No, it's 0.5, sorry. About 0.5.
I mean, that's what the going is for, that's if you're doing well with them, so.
Yeah.
If we were really going to sit there for a while, CDs do a little better than that.
Right.
So something like.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Sure.
Committee and subcommittee reports. Dale, anything from the town council?
Not that I can think of. It's been quiet.
Okay. Janice, anything from the planning board?
I've been away, so all I know is what I've been reading vaguely and quickly on the internet.
Okay.
So I have a lot to catch up before I have my meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know we meet Tuesday, and I believe the golf course was on this agenda, and I think it's, I may say the wrong name. Is it Shearwater? Don't go. The building that's the industrial park behind,
Yeah, yep,
like Mr. Porterato's house, that's on the agenda.
yep. Yeah, there's an expansion within the existing industrial park.
That's right.
Yeah. I think I'd seen that one as well. Stephanie, anything from the dam committee?
There's another meeting, I'm pretty sure it's the 27th. Is that a Wednesday, maybe?
It is the 27th, it's a Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday, okay. I think it's 27th.
That sounds right.
That is
Yep.
right.
All right.
Yep.
So there's another meeting the 27th. I don't remember what time either, so. There's going to be more updates. I think they have more updates, the report. Sorry, I'm not speaking well. The engineers have more updates on what they've done.
Okay, great, thanks. So that's Thursday, March 27th for the next dam study committee meeting.
Yes.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Any other subcommittee, anythings? Hearing none.
Oh, well, actually, you know what? I did start. I started looking into the making trail map. I did start to get that together. I was out of town for over a week, and I had computer issues at work, or unprecedented computer issues actually at work, and I did get into it a little bit, and I still think that I'm going to pursue that.
Okay.
Set a report back this month and tell you if I was going to keep going with that. But
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, next is the chairman's report. I sent out an email. We've received both emails and a mailing about the Saving Special Places 2014 meeting or conference, which is Saturday, April 5th. It's in Laconia at the Laconia Middle School. I'll pass this one around. I think we've all seen the emails, but I just wanted to let everyone know that we received information. If anyone is interested in attending, historically the Conservation Commission has paid for the registration costs. There are some interesting discussions there. The other one is we received the Southeast Land Trust newsletter, and I thought this might be of general interest to the public, so I wanted to speak to that. On Friday, April 25th, they'll be hosting a Wild and Scenic Film Festival. It's at the Portsmouth Music Hall. Tickets are $15 each. It's approximately an hour and a half to 2 hours of short movies that have an environmental intent to them. I've been in the past, and I find the movies informative and interesting. So if anyone's interested, again, that's the Wild and Scenic Film Festival at the Portsmouth Music Hall on Friday, April 25th at 7 o'clock. Pass that along as well. And then we have 3 other items that should be discussed. We received a bill from the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions to requesting our membership dues. Our membership dues are $300, and they're due in April of 2014. Our membership in the National Association of Conservation Commissions provides us with access to their databases, and also we can get additional information from them if we have other questions, and make connections with other conservation commissions, and it also supports their policy work at the state level. They're sort of they provide an umbrella organization that is looking at different laws or proposed bills that are passing through the state and providing input as it relates to conservation commissions on those. Historically, we have been members of the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions. So, does anyone have any questions associated with that?
Do you use it?
Some.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Are
some.
we getting our money worth?
It's hard to say, I guess I would say. I have looked at some of their forum areas, me personally, and I know that there's a new president of the association, and he's trying to send out information via email on a more regular basis. So I think that's worthwhile. So
Also, I think it matters as much as if the organization is doing good work to represent us on a statewide basis. Is that
yes.
Perhaps is also important?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you motion to?
Yeah, so then we would need we'd need a motion to authorize the expenditure of $300.
I just know if anyone else had questions,
Oh, yep.
because my back is kind
No,
of
it's okay.
crooked.
Did the emails go specifically to you?
I have received them, yes.
I don't think that I have. I wonder if it'd be beneficial if there are materials regarding conferences
We
or
can
for
broaden
educational
that.
materials.
Sure. We can
It'd
have
be
it.
nice to broaden that.
Sure.
That way we can all get a little bit of a benefit out of whatever they're distributing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they ever, I'm just asking another question, do they ever provide speakers if you need them to come and present an issue to the town?
I don't know.
Like we use Ellen Snyder sometimes.
Right.
I wonder
Yeah.
if they ever provide a speaker
Yeah, I don't know.
or material that can be passed out.
Right.
Or they must have a website link that we could tell
Right.
people to go to.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would think so.
They do have a website.
Give me the invoice, I'll make a
Yeah,
motion.
sure.
When you're ready.
Yeah, anytime's fine.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the amount of $300 to the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions for the annual membership dues for the fiscal year of 2014.
Thank you, Janice. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second the motion?
Thank you, Jeff. And any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that passes 6-0. And then we have, so I'll submit a check request and have this invoice paid.
Just, I believe that comes out of our due subscription,
Yes,
so just,
yes, make sure that budget item is listed
yeah,
appropriately.
the account number.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and then we have two requests for Shanda Park usage. The first one is from Loco Running, and they're requesting to use Shanda Park on April 6, 2014 for the post-race celebration for the 8th Annual Great Bay Half Marathon. They've used the park in the past and have been very good about, leaving it in the condition that's, that it was received in. Does anyone have any questions associated with that? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to permit Loco Sports to use the Shanda Park.
Sure, I'll make the motion to accept the application for usage of Shanda Waterfront Park for the organization Loco Sports
Yep.
for their post-race celebration for the 8th Annual Great Bay Half Marathon. And, where's the date? Thank you. For April 6, 2014.
Thank you, Janice. Do we have a second for that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Dale. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it, 6-0. And then the next one is we received a letter from Jerry Collins. Mr. Collins is the gentleman who puts up the weir off of Shanda Park. And he sent us a letter saying, during April and May of 2014, I hope to use the Shanda Park to patch nets and work on the weir. I'm also planning to build a new pocket. That's the part at the end of the weir that the fish are constrained in. I hope to use the parking lot space closest to the park for this. And he's comments here that he's planning to speak to Steve Fournier, the town administrator, regarding that. And I have spoken with the town administrator, and Mr. Collins has been in contact with the town administrator. And I should note that there are not specific days here. The installation of the weir requires that the tide to be out in a time when Mr. Collins is available to put the stakes in, et cetera. So historically, we've had an indefinite time associated with this because of that. Yeah, I think the only other thing I would add is, given the time frame that he's requesting of April and May, we just granted use on April 6th to Loco Sports, and we've previously granted use on May 25th, I believe it was, for a wedding there. So if we agree to allow Mr. Collins, then we should make note on our on what we send to him that says, please be aware that the park will be used for other things on these 2 days, so he should not plan on using it on those days.
And this is only vaguely related, but is the parking area associated with Shanda Park under our jurisdiction too, or just the park itself?
That is an excellent question, for which I do not have a good answer.
I think there's probably going to be more issues around that parking down there in the future than...
I suspect that is true. I have heard that I think New Hampshire Fish and Game is actually responsible for the parking lot.
Okay. Because it is parking for the landing in a large park.
Correct, right.
I think the town owns it. The lots are town property. Whether or not Fish and Game has, control over parking and whatnot, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do know that that's town property.
The parking lot itself?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
When we surveyed Water Street, the realignment of Water
Mhm.
Street, yeah.
Okay.
That's where the knowledge comes from.
Okay, that's good to know.
Do you need a motion for that, too?
Sure.
Okay, I'll take a stab at it.
This one doesn't
Yeah.
have all the info.
I know, jeez. Okay, Jerry
Well, here,
Collins?
yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to allow Mr. Jerry Collins to use the Shanda Park area with a parking lot, I don't know if that has to be mentioned
Sure.
too, for his netting that he's doing, and in that motion, we would like to make sure that he has knowledge of the local date of April 6th and the wedding of May 25th, so everyone will be clear of when they can go in and out,
Right.
so there's no disruption to the other or people. I think that's all you really need, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds great. I'll second that motion.
Oh, did you want the
Any-
months? We did say.
Yeah, we got 'em.
By April, May. Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. It's a 6-0 also. Thanks, Janice. So I'll fill those out and then send them back to Loco Sports and Mr. Collins. Moving on to old and new business. Let's see, I had wetlands permit for the 108 shoulder widening project. I think I had that down because we received some information. They've changed a little bit of the drainage on what they're going to be doing on 108 a little bit north of Hamel Brook, which is well into Durham. It's north of Long Marsh and Bennett Road. So they sent us a few maps that show some updates associated with that, and it was, since it was not in Newmarket and was not related to anything that we had previously discussed, I just thought I would mention it at the meeting and add it into our file and leave it at that. So if anyone has any questions or wants to see those drainage updates, they're welcome to take a look at it. Chicks Weir is the one we had just covered. Easement stewardship monitoring, the last one was the Silverman Schneer report, and I have worked on that one and completed it. So the last thing that remains there is to file all the various reports. So then, once that happens, then we're done with easement monitoring for last year.
Nice job.
Thank you. Once you have the originals, it's pretty easy. You know, it's just an updating. And then we had election of officers here. However, given that 3 of the full-time Conservation Commission members are not here this evening, I think it makes sense to delay that until our next meeting.
You can't use it as an opportunity to vote one of them in?
That in theory,
has
could be
happened in
done.
the
That has happened to some level in the past. I would prefer not to do that. Understood.
Admirable.
Unless it happens again next month.
It's incentive to come next month.
There's less
Watch out
members
next
than
time.
positions. Here tonight.
Yeah, exactly. There's less members than positions at this point.
Here. Present, yeah.
All right, that takes care of that. Anyone else have anything under old or new business? All right.
Are you going down the action item list, or?
Well, I forgot to send it out this month. I have last month, but I don't know.
We went over last month, so I would say let's bag it.
Okay.
And then if that's the case, unless
Motion
someone...
to adjourn?
Second.
Dale makes a motion to adjourn. Janice second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 That was a very fast meeting.
That's a lovely thing.
That's a record.